I can't breathe. That's the first thing that hits me as I stare at my bank account. The numbers are staring back, mocking me. Rent is due in 5 days. The electricity bill, late. And my car, God, I don't even want to think about the repair I need. Another payday has come, and yet I'm sitting here, again in this suffocating routine. It's like I'm running full speed on a treadmill, but I'm not going anywhere. I mean, isn't payday supposed to be the day I feel a little relief? That one breath where I don't have to worry about juggling bills, groceries, and gas. But no. My paycheck is already gone before I can even touch it. I can feel the panic setting in again, like an old friend. Familiar, yet unwanted. I glance at the pile of unopened bills on the table. I'll open them later. Maybe. Instead, I scroll through my phone, looking for something, anything, that will make this all go away. Another budgeting app, a miracle loan, something. But then a video pops up. It's not a big flashy ad or a magic solution. It's a woman sitting at her kitchen table just like me. But what she's doing is strange. She's counting cash, real cash, and stuffing it into envelopes. Her fingers move quickly, but she's calm, controlled. Every dollar she holds has a purpose. Cash stuffing, she calls it. I hit replay. That's how it started. I wasn't even sure why I was drawn to it, but something about seeing those envelopes made me feel like maybe, just maybe, there was a way out of this mess. So, the next day, I did something I never do. I walked into my bank and asked for cash. It felt weird, almost embarrassing. I mean, who carries cash anymore? But when I left with that money in my hand, it was different. For the first time, I was holding my entire paycheck, not just some abstract number on a screen that disappeared the second I swiped my card. At home, I grabbed a bunch of envelopes and a pen. This is it, I thought. This is my last shot at taking control of my life. I wrote down the categories: rent, groceries, utilities, car repairs, and then the one I knew I needed most: emergency fund. I started stuffing. Rent first, gotta have a roof over my head. Then groceries, bare minimum, but enough to get by. Car repairs. I could only put a little in there. It felt tight, too tight. But for the first time, I could see where my money was going. Each envelope was like a tiny shield, protecting me from the chaos. By the time I was done, I sat back and looked at what I had created. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. And for the first time in months, I didn't feel like I was drowning. Of course, life had other plans. 2 weeks later, my car wouldn't start. I felt the panic rising, the fear creeping back in. I only had a few dollars in the car repairs envelope. What was I supposed to do now? Was this whole cash stuffing thing just another failed experiment? That night, I sat at the table again, staring at the empty envelope like it had betrayed me. But deep down, I knew this wasn't the end. It was a lesson. I'd have to adjust, shuffle things around, and keep going. This wasn't about getting everything right immediately. It was about progress, about control. Fast forward a few months, and things are different. I'm still living paycheck to paycheck, but it's not the same. I'm in control now. My grocery budget, sticking to it. My emergency fund? Growing slowly, but it's growing. I even managed to save up $500. I know it's not a lot, but it's mine. And I've never been more proud of an envelope full of cash. I'm still learning. I still get hit with surprises. But now, when life throws a curveball, I don't panic. I adjust. I've got a plan. And for the first time, I actually believe I'll break free. Now, I've got a choice. Where do I go from here? Do I keep building up my emergency fund? Maybe I should start planning for bigger things with sinking funds. Vacations, holidays, things I never thought I could afford. Or maybe it's time to take a deeper dive into budgeting, find new strategies to tighten things up even more. This time, I get to decide. I looked down at the few crumpled bills in my emergency fund envelope, and the weight of it all settled on my chest. It wasn't enough, not nearly enough to keep me safe if something went wrong. And in my life, something always went wrong. But this time, I wasn't going to let it crush me. Not again. I had made my decision. $1,000 was the goal. Not just a number, it was security. It was the difference between losing sleep over bills and finally being able to breathe. I could almost feel it, just out of reach. 3 months, I told myself. I could do this. I needed to do this.